Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Tony.
I'm King K.
And this is Down2Talk.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all again so much for tuning in each and every week with us. We really appreciate it. If y'all haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. We got content just like this, dropping almost every single week. Sometimes the next week, sometimes the week after that. Y'all know what's up. So, here on this channel, Down2Talk, what we like to do is pretty much just get the conversation started. You know, we've had artists come on, we've had massage therapists come on, financial advisor, you name it. It's really just about getting the conversation started. And here this week, what we're talking about is the power of the mind.
Facts.
King K.
Big facts. And like he was saying, you know, we had artists and stuff coming on. Our motto is changing the world one conversation at a time. So if you have a testimony, come share it. If you have a business, come present it. And if you're an artist, please come perform. And like he was saying, we're talking about the power of the mind. I just want to say, if you go to a car dealership, right, and you walk up to a car and you say, man, I can't afford this car. You just told 10 million cells in your body that you cannot afford the car.
Billions.
And guess what? It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So, with further said, is the power of the mind, is that a real thing?
It has to be. At least that's how I look at it. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions. That's with anything. But me personally, I know what I experienced. And I like to think after coming across certain knowledge, certain information when it comes to the power of the mind, that there is some truth, if not, you know, a lot of truth to there being, you know, power in each and every one of our minds. And I thought he was going a different way with that example. What I was thinking was when you go to a car dealership or whenever you want a car and you think about your dream car or the car that you just bought,
Right.
and you didn't notice it at all before, but now that you got it or now that you're thinking about it, you see it everywhere. Everybody has one of those cars, and you start to notice it everywhere. That's another form of the power of the mind working.
Right.
So it works in different ways. It really just depends, again, on the person that's doing the thinking. So now that we're talking about, I guess, individuals and people, like it, that starts to boil down to perception. So I guess going, you know, next steps, how do you think perception plays a role in the power of the mind?
Well, I feel like so is a man thinketh. That's like in the Bible, so is a man thinketh. So if you actually think, you know, something's gonna happen, it will happen. We was just talking about, you know, when you think about somebody and 2-3 days later they call you. So like that's the perception. Like you just didn't thought about this person, and the mind's just like, okay, I'm gonna gravitate to you, and I'm gonna make this happen.
Right.
So that's what I think about the perception of the mind, and it's very powerful. I mean, you can even go with like your everyday life. Like you say you're gonna do something, and in your mind you're saying, okay, I'm gonna do it, and you actually do it. So like that's the perception of it.
Yeah.
But what correlates with, you know, the power of mind and the reality of it?
I think the power of the mind is very strong when it comes to our external circumstances, right? So basically, if whatever it is that you're dealing with at the time in the situation, if you have a positive outlook on how you want it to end up, it's probably going to end up positive, and vice versa to a negative outlook in a negative situation.
Right.
So again, piggybacking off of what King K said, whenever you think about somebody and if they hit you up, you know, instantly, they call you or text you or whatever that is, that's you creating, in a sense, your reality. You know, that's like the most direct way to even think about it in terms of that.
And I'm gonna go a little bit deeper. Whenever they do hit you up, it feels more genuine too.
Okay.
Have you ever noticed that?
Yeah,
like
no,
when you like think about somebody and then they hit you up, and that conversation is so much smoother. It's genuine. I don't know what that is, But I've experienced it. Like every time I thought about somebody and somebody hit me up, oh, I was just thinking about you, da 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 da. It feel like it was meant to be.
Right. No, like that goes with anything. Like that's why I feel like, you know, whenever we're talking about this, the power of the mind, like it has to do with the person, the individual. You have to come to those terms. You got to come to that belief, and it's got to come from a genuine spot. That's why, you know, whenever you said, you know, it comes with a lot more genuity, I believe in that like wholeheartedly.
Right.
So, or whenever like social media influencers, Tony Robbins, you know, you got Gary Vee, Eric Thomas, you know, whichever one you could think of, at some point probably mention the power of attraction, right? And if we're talking about the power of the mind, we're in the same sentence inadvertently talking about the power of attraction. So when we talk about the things that's internal, like mainly emotions, frustration, anger, depression, when it comes to those things that are internal, am I being those things? Am I being depressed, or am I attracting depression?
That's a good question, because I mean I suffer from depression from time to time, and it's like, what is making me feel this way? Like what has me laying in this bed for 3 or 4 days, not wanting to talk to somebody, not wanting to be around somebody? And when you come out of that and you look back, it's like, dang, why was I doing that? Like what captured me to be in that state? And the only thing I can think of is the mind. You know, those voices in your head that tells you, oh, it's not gonna work, or you know, you're this and you're not enough. I just feel like the mind has that. It tells you how to feel, and it's like it's an unbelievable feeling, because you just laying there and you just it's like you're not even you anymore.
Right.
So I feel like I don't know what that is, man. And when you out of it, it's like you like a whole another person. But I firmly believe like the mind can like control your emotions. Your mind controls your reality, in a sense. But subconscious and conscious, like what can you differ from those two?
Okay. There's definitely, you know, a dynamic between the conscious and the subconscious mind, and when it comes to the power of each of those, it's definitely different. From what I've read, from what was you know, researched, the subconscious mind is like so powerful that we can't even comprehend the level of power that it holds, just based off of past experiences and what's happened, you know, what we consider to be impossible that we broke through a lot of those plateaus. But you don't control that the same way that you control the conscious mind. Your conscious mind is one of those things that it's considered weak, but it's considered weak because you're like almost in 100% control of it. And what do you hear? What do you listen to? You know, what goes through your mind in the waking hours in the day? Like, let's say, you know, you already know that you want to go work out, you want to go to work, you want to go do all of these things in the day, but what do you hear, you know, throughout the day? Do I really want to work out? Do I want to go to work? You know, you got that voice that's telling you, or that's asking you, do you even really want to do those things? So that's the conscious mind that's combating you, what you already know that you want to do ahead of time. Kobe Bryant made it almost crystal clear when he said, in his mentality, what I did was I signed a contract with myself, and I didn't leave no room to do anything else.
No negotiating.
None at all. When I signed that contract, whenever I wake up, there's no choice. I got to get this done. That was him programming, if you would, his conscious mind, but also using his subconscious mind. So again, like, there's that dynamic for sure. Right. You definitely have to understand that your conscious mind is a lot weaker, but you're in 100% control of that. That's why they say your words have power. And the power of the mind is almost the creator of our external reality. You have to understand that dynamic to even be able to use the power behind it.
Absolutely.
So I think that's one of the things that we have to come to understand. But going forward though, what are some of the ways that we can train the mind if we want to get better at something?
Absolutely, that's a good question. Like you were saying before, the mind, 99.9%, the mind is going to be against you 100% of the time. So therefore, you have to have that willpower, and you have to create that discipline, and you have to, get after it. That mind say, hey, I want to sleep in, knowing you're supposed to be waking up in the morning going to work out. And I'm a firm believer of it, because I was supposed to be doing 2-a-days, and I stopped.
You ain't doing 2-a-days?
Nah,
bro?
not no more. The mind got me.
The mind got you.
But nah, just staying disciplined and like I said, no negotiating with yourself. That mind is gonna be against you. So just stay disciplined, stay encouraged, surround yourself with people, like-minded people, positive thinking people. That voice is gonna forever be in your head. You just gotta combat it every day. That's where the willpower come in.
Okay. Yeah, that as thorough as we could be about that, because it's one of those fleeting topics, man. Like you can think what you want about it, but at the end of the day, it's really, your personal perception and how you think about, the power of the mind and how you can use it to your advantage. So, any last remarks on the power of the mind?
Don't be captive to those voices that's in your head. Yeah. A lot of people fall victim to those voices. Kids going out shooting up schools, that ain't nothing but that voice in their head saying, hey, go do this, and they falling victim to it. Right. So stay mindful. Parents, teach your kids to voice what they're thinking in their head, so you can know and prevent whatever's happening to them. That voice is very serious. That voice in your head plays tricks on you, but get in God's word, pray, and those voices will subside.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That pretty much wraps up everything for this episode. Again, if y'all haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, because this content just like this dropping almost every single week, sometimes the next week. But we want to thank y'all again so much for tapping in with us. Catch us next week or the week after. This is
Down to Talk.